Commission meeting to order. Let the record reflect it is Thursday, February 4th at 7 p.m. As a preliminary matter, this is Commission Chairman Garrett Gray speaking. Before we get started, I would ask that anyone joining us remotely please be patient and respectful as we navigate this meeting remotely. I would appreciate if you each mute your phones at this time. And for those wishing to follow along with the PowerPoint, you are encouraged to access the meeting through Tinley Park Television on YouTube, streaming live right now. It is my understanding that all members and staff present have checked in on the conference line and we can begin our meeting. Please note throughout the meeting we expect to have other individuals joining us via phone call pertaining to specific agenda items. Again, thank you in advance for your patience and cooperation throughout tonight's Plan Commission meeting, which is convening remotely via conference call. This meeting is being conducted pursuant to Governor Pritzker's Disaster Proclamation and Public Act 101-0640, which amends requirements of the Open Meetings Act due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The Open Meetings Act, OMA, requires public bodies to allow for public comment. Therefore, this meeting will include public comment via the established protocol. Even if members of the public do not provide comment, participants are advised that people may be listening who do not provide comment and that those persons are not required to identify themselves. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that some attendees are participating by web or audio conference. Let's just go over some of the ground rules. We are all still getting used to working and meeting remotely. I don't feel it totally necessary to go over all of the protocols again. Just remember to stay on mute and wait until I address you, and then identify yourself when you unmute and you begin to speak. Thank you. So, Commission Secretary, please call the roll at this time.
Commissioner Engel. Commissioner Manning.
Here.
Commissioner Gatto.
Present.
Commissioner West.
Present.
Commissioner Gaskell.
Present.
Commissioner Atkinson.
Here.
Commissioner Vick. Commissioner Lascuto.
Here.
Chairman Gray.
Here. Okay, this is Chairman Gray. Staff, are there any communications for the Commission at this time?
I'll just note Barb Bennett retired, so we wish her luck kind of as she moves forward. And you guys have already probably received some email communication from Kathy, who's going to be taking over as the Commission Secretary. So you can always work through her as well as copy me on any emails or communications. If you have any questions, there's always me, Paula, and Kimberly. You can always reach out to us about the meetings or Kathy. So that's it for this time.
Okay, thank you. This is Chairman Gray. Thank you, Dan, for that update. Sad to see Barb go, but we welcome Kathy to part of the village team for the Plan Commission. Let's now begin with the. You're welcome. Let us now begin with the approval of the minutes. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the January 21st, 2021 meeting?
This is Commissioner Aitchison. So moved.
Commissioner Gaskill, second.
Okay, motion made by Commissioner Aitchison, seconded by Commissioner Gaskell. I will ask for a voice vote. Are there any opposed to this motion? Hearing none, the motion is carried. We'll move on to item 1. It's a workshop, a public hearing for the Kids Station Incorporated at 7777 159th Street, requesting a special use permit for a child care center. And we are going to consider recommending that the village board grant Patricia Reed on behalf of Kids Station Incorporated, the tenant/leasee, for approval for a special use permit for a child care center at 7777 159th Street in the B3 General Business and Commercial Zoning District. The daycare is proposed to occupy 2,200 square feet of space previously occupied by another daycare and with an outdoor play area at the rear of the building. We will start the workshop portion of this item first. Staff, please start with your presentation at this time.
Thanks, Chairman. As you stated, it's a special use for a daycare, similar to kind of other special uses that had kind of no major site changes to it, and it's really kind of internal to the building and more focused on the operations. We've combined the workshop and the public hearing part of this. Of course, you guys always have an opportunity to continue stuff, but we kind of like with these simpler ones, especially with special uses that are just special uses, to be able to combine those for the benefit of the petitioners to keep their projects moving forward quickly. So this is kind of a step two to, we've had a little bit of daycare chair moving here. So this location is 777 159th Street. This is where Dreamland Academy was, and most of you were on the commission at the time, about November, December 2020, so just a couple months ago. Dreamland Academy came before you guys and moved to a location on 167th Street, which is where Bobby Noonan's used to be, and they had closed down there, so they kind of moved there. It opened up this space where Dreamland Academy previously was. So they were leasing here, and then they bought that location, and then that opened this up here for now Kids Station, looking to relocate here as well. So we're excited to see this filled up quickly, and special uses, just so you guys understand, run with a business and not with the land. So because it's very operation based in terms of parking, pickups, noise, whatever the concerns might be of why it's a special use, it's really based on how that business operates. So in that regard, it's kind of odd here as you're kind of replacing a daycare with a daycare, but it's really, you're granting that to the business and not to the property itself. So just a note there as to how kind of special uses work in general. So the property here in question is, there's actually two parcels there. One is kind of the rear parking area, and the other part includes the front and side parking area, as well as the building and the grass area. So it's kind of two pins out there, but function as one zoning lot and one property. There's two existing tenants on that property, an orthodontist and then an insurance company, and then this is kind of the third tenant space in that building, which was previously a daycare, which was most recently the Dreamland Academy daycare. And then before that was more of an office use, like the other two tenants. This was converted to a daycare in 2015 by Dreamland Academy, so they came in here and kind of converted the interior space as well as the rear of the lot to be an outdoor play area, which was previously just kind of an open grass area back there. With that special use, there was kind of a number of items that came through the plan commission that had to be adjusted or corrected, and that included some parking lot patching, restriping, landscape improvements along 159th Street and in the rear. The outdoor play area, which has a 6-foot fence around it. They installed a new rear privacy fence between this lot and then the residential uses to the south of it. They recorded a public sidewalk easement for a small portion of the sidewalk that runs onto private property. And then they also recorded a cross-access easement with the commercial shopping plaza to make that kind of a permanent easement and clean that up. So they kind of accomplished a lot of the site work and the heavy lifting there in 2015 on this site when it was first converted to a daycare. The property is zoned B3, which is our general business and commercial zoning district. And again, that's what is there to the east and to the west of this property. To the west is I believe, Great Escape, and then to the east is the Castle Plaza and Castle Dental to the east of this. So you have commercial properties there, and then to the south of this is more residential uses, zoned R5, which is our low-density residential, and then R4, which is single-family residential, more to the south of this property. For daycares, again, special uses typically mean that there's maybe some additional considerations that we want to look at to make sure it's a right fit for a specific zoning district. Daycares are a special use in the R6, R7, B2, B3, and B4 zoning districts. So it's not permitted by right in any of them, and that's primarily because there's concerns about the outdoor play area, noise, how kind of children drop-off pickup works, overall site circulation and stacking, and then just kind of the overall site appearance of kind of where you want to have children at, as well as kind of neighboring uses. As you might think that with schools or daycares, there's certain uses you just may not want to see next to those. So somewhat about kind of surrounding uses as well. So again, the background on this, I kind of already went over with Dreamland Academy, and in terms of what improvements happened there in 2015 with their special use approval. This is Kids Station then, is coming in here. They would be a tenant in here and lease it. They're planning to operate it very, very similarly to what Dreamland Academy had been doing. So there's not many expected changes here. The proposed use is for a daycare with hours of operation from 6:30 to 6 p.m. And then they would have a maximum number of 7 employees on the site, and that would be dependent upon how many kids, times during the day. They have certain requirements that they have to meet for kind of a staffing requirement that's regulated by the state and monitored and regulated by DCFS in the state there. They're planning to have about up to 36 children. I don't exactly know if they plan on that being the case straight from the beginning or maybe growing to that. And that was the limit that Dreamland Academy had previously had as well there. And they would be children from 15 months to 5 years old in between there. Kids Station, so this would be their second location. They're looking to expand from their first location, which is in Mokina, and they've operated for over 13 years. So I think Patricia could probably expand more on it later, but she does have experience running daycares. She knows what the requirements are from the state. DCFS, I think they already have kind of their safety, security protocols in place that they know how to do, as well as COVID-19 and the kind of protection measures that are in place there too. So we had reached out to Mokina, and they didn't really have any issues with their existing location or kind of any known issues there. So. Kind of the main concern, and the one thing we always look at with these, because they can be fairly unique, is kind of the parking and circulation. Probably more circulation in terms of how drop-off and pickups work. Sometimes you'll kind of get like a drop-off front entrance area, or in this case, you'll get just parking stalls, and you'll get parents that'll park in those, and then they either take their kid and kind of bring them inside, or you'll get teachers or daycare staff that comes out and meets them at the car and takes them inside. So there's kind of a couple different protocols there depending on how the daycare wants to operate it, and obviously that's, I think, been a little fluid as well with COVID-19. here in terms of trying to limit who's coming into those facilities, so. Parking in general, there's quite a bit of parking here. So they have 60 parking spaces on the site. 2 of those are ADA parking spaces. And so they have the 2 other tenants on the property that have a total maximum of 15 employees. And then so that kind of leaves the kind of total open parking spaces to 45 when you look in terms of what's open for the daycare as well as customers for those other businesses. So there's a pretty significant open parking availability there. For the most part, they have parking in the back that's typically used by employees of the businesses, and then they will typically kind of leave those front parking spaces for the customers as well as pickup drop off from the daycare. The one kind of concern we have on this property is kind of twofold. One is that they're missing one ADA parking space. Per the state's accessibility code, they would need 3 here for their total parking count. And then also in general, the parking lot, it was in bad shape in 2015. They did some patches, but it's still a fairly worn, tired kind of parking lot. And the property owner already kind of knew that when they were coming forward with this, so they already have a signed contract to get that done. But just for our purposes, we put a recommended condition on this approval that would include the repair of that parking lot as well as restriping of the parking lot by June 30th this year. So I believe they already have that contract in place and they've agreed to it. So we're good with that, but we just wanted to kind of solidify it with a condition that we recommended with the special use. So other than that, they really don't have any other changes with the site in terms of landscaping, architecture, lighting. Most of that was addressed in 2015, and the site's been maintained relatively well since then. And lastly is just the layout of the site. You can see there with their current layout and the outdoor play area as well as the parking. So that's all I have, Chairman, and I'll send it back to you.
Okay, this is Chairman Gray. Thanks, Dan, for the presentation. I will now receive comments from the commissioners. And so, commissioners, please make sure to address any open items or anything else you want to mention, beginning with Commissioner Gaskell.
I have nothing.
Okay. Commissioner Aitchison.
I have no comments at this time.
Commissioner Manny.
No comments.
Commissioner Lasciuto.
The only comment I would have is I'm glad that the space is being filled by another daycare. It seems like they have a lot of things already in order for it.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner West.
As long as the issues with the parking lot are being addressed, and it sounds like there's a plan in place for that, I just don't have any.
Okay, excellent. Commissioner Gatto.
No comment.
Okay. And is Commissioner Vick here? Did he enter the meeting? Okay, hearing that he's not on. And I agree with what some of the commissioners already said, as long as the issues with the parking lot, and you have an agreement in place for June 30th of this year. It's good to get that third ADA parking spot and get it resurfaced and restriped. But it's tailor-made for a daycare, so it especially with the fenced-in area, outdoor area for the playground. So it looks pretty good to go. With that, if the petitioner is on the line, do you have anything you would like to add at this point before we proceed to the public hearing?
No, thank you.
Okay. And is this Patricia?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And
Okay,
this
thank
is
you,
Marie
Patricia.
Manny. And this is Marie Manny. Just thank you for your time, and we're excited to have another daycare in there. Appreciate
Yeah,
your
excellent.
time.
And yes, and you guys have a good track record, 13 years in Mokina, so I'm glad to hear you're expanding. And as Commissioner Lasciuto said, I'm glad you're using a tailor-made facility in Tinley Park. With that said, this is Chairman. No problem. With that said, we will now proceed to the public hearing portion of the request. May I have a motion to open the public hearing?
This is Commissioner Manny, so moved.
This is Commissioner Gatto. I second that motion.
This is Chairman Gray. Motion made by Commissioner Manny, seconded by Commissioner Gatto. I will ask for a voice vote. Are there any opposed to this motion? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Before we proceed, I would like to note that I have confirmation of the public hearing notice for tonight's public hearing being published in the local newspaper as required by state law. Anyone wishing to speak on this matter in the public hearing will be sworn in before they speak, but after the staff's presentation. Staff, please proceed with your presentation. Dan, if you want to present standards for special use, please do so.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to add with the presentation, but I can definitely go over the standards for special use right now. They're on your screen, and I'll just kind of do the summary. Is basically it's an existing site, an existing constructed property. It's a state licensed facility that will meet all building and fire code requirements, and that it's a relatively low intensity use. And it's operated as a daycare since 2015 with no issues. And then it's basically filling a vacancy there with a child care facility is one that it already was since 2015, and provides employment and kind of a needed service for the residents and workers in the area. So that's it for my summary on the standards, but they're also on the PowerPoint and in the staff report.
Okay, thank you, Dan. This is Chairman Gray. At this time, I'm going to ask the Commission if they have any further comments or discussion for staff on this matter during the public hearing portion, beginning with Commissioner Gatto.
No comment.
Okay. Commissioner Aitchison.
No comment.
Commissioner West.
Nothing to add.
Commissioner Lasciuto.
Nothing further.
Commissioner Manny.
No comment.
And Commissioner Gaskell.
No comment.
Okay, and I have no comments myself. This is Chairman Gray. Again, if the petitioner is on the line, do you have anything you would like to add? If you do, I'll have to swear you in. Okay, hearing none, I will move on. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Is that Maureen or Patricia? Okay.
I hit my unmute, but no, I don't have anything to add. This is Marie.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Marie. Staff, is there anyone else from the public wishing to comment on this item?
No, there's not.
Okay. Well, I'm going to recognize that there's nobody from the public wishing to speak. So, one last chance. Commission, is there any further discussion on the matter? If so, speak up now. Okay. Hearing none, we will move forward. May I have a motion to close the public hearing at this time?
This is Commissioner Lasciuto, so moved.
Commissioner Gaskill, second.
Okay, this is Chairman Gray. Motion made by Commissioner Lasciuto, seconded by Commissioner Gaskill. I will ask for a voice vote. Are there any opposed to this motion? Hearing none, The motion is carried. Staff, we already went over the standards of variation. Is there anything else for you to review?
No, there's not.
Okay, so at this time, may I have a motion on the proposed special use?
Yes, this is Commissioner West. I would like to make a motion to recommend that the village board grant the petitioner, Patricia Reed, on behalf of Kids Station Incorporated as a tenant or lessee, a special use permit for a child care center on the property located at 7777 159th Street in the B3 General Business and Commercial Zoning District, in accordance with the plan submitted, and adopt findings of fact as proposed by village staff in the February 4th, 2021 staff report, subject to the following conditions. Number 1, parking lot asphalt shall be repaired and restriped with 3 accessible parking stalls required by the Illinois Accessibility Code by June 30th, 2021.
This is Commissioner Lasciuto. I second that motion.
This is Chairman Gray. Motion made by Commissioner West, seconded by Commissioner Lasciuto. Secretary, may I have a roll call?
Commissioner Manning,
Yes.
Commissioner Gatto,
Yes.
Commissioner West,
Yes.
Commissioner Gaskill,
Yes.
Commissioner Atkinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Lasciuto,
Yes.
and Chairman Bray.
Yes. Okay, this is Chairman Gray. The motion is carried. This item will go to the village board for approval at the Tuesday, February 16, 2021 meeting. Patricia and Marie, please reach out to staff to see how you can attend, either virtually or in person if they allow. And good luck. We're glad to have you choose Tinley Park as a place for your business.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, everyone, for your time tonight. Appreciate it. We're looking forward to servicing this community. Thank you. And good night.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, moving on to the good of the order. This is Chairman Gray. Staff, do you have any comments for the good of the order?
Yeah, I have a few things. I guess I'll reiterate, thank you to Barb Bennett and all of her years of service here. I think she held us all together for a while there, especially with a lot of staff transition and stuff that we had over the last couple of years. So I think she did an awesome job, and we're going to miss her. With that in mind, kind of with our transition right now, and we've reiterated this a couple times, but if you could really let us know if you're not going to be here as soon as you know that would help us. If you know in advance, a month in advance, let us know a month in advance. Or if when we send out the packet on Friday, so we will typically send it out to you guys on Friday night. If you could let us know by that Monday, sometime on Monday, if you're not going to make it for Thursday, that really helps since we're getting the script together, and it kind of helps us not have these last minute, we have to run around and make sure we have quorum. Everybody's been really good with showing up, I think, compared to how it was, and I think maybe the phone call-ins help it a little bit, but we still want to make sure that we always have a quorum. So just let us know as soon as you can, or when you get the packet on Friday. Just hopefully you know within the week if you'll be able to attend. We published for an associate planner position here, so we'll hopefully have a new staff member coming on board in the next few months. So it just got posted, and we're kind of hoping by April or May at the latest that we'd be through the interview process, have somebody selected and onboarded. So we're excited to kind of get that going. I think that'll help us a little bit with staff transitions, as well as maybe help us start doing some more kind of long range stuff and zoning code updates and the fun stuff we really want to see to kind of help us move forward and actually do some planning over than just reacting. So excited we do have some conference commission training budgeted this coming year. So anybody that's interested, if you could email me, Kathy, Kimberly, let somebody know if you're interested. I think it might be easier this year, especially since most of the conferences tend to be going virtual. So instead of traveling somewhere for a day, you could do it all virtually. It usually is a weekday, though. It usually is during a day, so that may not be possible for everyone. But if anyone's interested, at least let us know, so that way we can kind of communicate when we know the days, the times, and just so we can make sure we get you the information. So feel free to reach out to us for that. Development-wise, we did have a new owner purchase Springford Hall, so that's kind of been the thing that everybody points to downtown that's been vacant for a long time. So we're excited. We have a new owner. They're planning to kind of subdivide it up so that way they could lease it out to multiple tenants. So we're excited as they move forward to do that. We'll finally see that space filled.
Which space was that, Dan?
Springford Hall, it's the old Cardinal Fitness.
Okay, yeah,
location.
good.
So it's been a while there, and it's been difficult because of the taxes and because it's kind of one large space. But this person's got a good vision, I think, to kind of split it all up and then lease it out, and I think that'll be a good location for a lot of businesses. So, also, if you know any businesses looking for a ready-to-go location down there, obviously we have that and the boulevard going on at the same time, so we'll have some locations down there available finally. The boulevard's been moving along, and they're still looking for a spring kind of opening available to lease some point in spring. Avocado Theory as well is aiming to finish their project in March or April, kind of at the latest, to be able to open that. Brixmore, which is the Tinley Plaza shopping center, that's been moving forward, and the kind of shell of that building is coming together out there. And they plan to have the entire shell basically completed by May 1st, and then available to the tenants to kind of start their build-out work on that property for the two tenants that would be going into the new space. Lastly is the COVID testing sites. So came to the commission was the COVID site on Duvan Drive, who had the special use. They're open and operating for the last few weeks, and I haven't heard too many issues out there, but I know that you can sign up on their website, which is NAS testing. And then we had two temporary testing sites that are kind of utilizing the text amendment that came at the same time as that special use for an emergency temporary use. So that goes straight to the village board, but we have two locations. One's already operating on 185th Street. It's Hematogenics, and then there'll be another location opening off 159th from Rocket Testing. So I think that's all I got. Next meeting is February 18th, so see everybody then.
Okay, this is Chairman Gray. Thanks, Dan. Looks like there's a lot coming our way. So at this time, I'll ask, is there anyone present from the public wishing to speak or comment, or comments that were submitted earlier today prior to the meeting?
No, there's nothing.
Okay. So no comments from the public. With that, if there's nothing further, I will entertain a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
This is Commissioner Aitchison, so moved.
Commissioner Gaskill, second.
Okay, this is Chairman Gray. Motion made by Commissioner Aitchison, seconded by Commissioner Gaskill. I will take a voice vote. Anyone opposed? Okay, hearing none, the motion is carried. This meeting is adjourned at 7:35 p.m. Take care, everybody. Good job.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night,